Good morning, everyone. It's just after 10 a.m. on Tuesday, December 9th. Welcome to um, an open door. This is our regular Tuesday offering from a book, Training Wheels, in which we really explore in a different way the daily lessons of A Course in Miracles. And today we are on lesson 72. Which says holding grievances is an attack on God's plan for salvation. We're going to explore this lesson today in meditation a little differently than it's written here. We're going to go a little bit deeper than the lesson that's written here. This is lesson 72 out of 365 lessons. So the individual who is just beginning to do this mind training program with the daily lessons of A Course in Miracles is probably going to resist some of the language in this lesson. But most of us are familiar with this lesson. We've lived with this lesson, and so we can go a little bit deeper into it. So that's what we're going to do this morning. Then we'll talk about how this lesson feels for you. So go ahead and turn your cameras off, and I'm going to turn my video off. We'll do our usual reading through the first 50 lessons as a way to lay the foundation for the work of diving deeper into this particular lesson. So center yourself wherever you are sitting. Feel your tailbone in the chair and feel your feet on the floor. And let your shoulders relax. I'm telling myself this as much as anyone else, even though it's only 10 o'clock here in Eastern Standard Time. For many of us, the morning began many hours ago, or the day began and it's now afternoon. And so we have things that we can let go. So relax the jaw and soften the eyes. And gently notice the breath, letting it just come in and go out naturally. Let your hands relax. And soften your heart. And be happy with yourself in whatever form is arising now. Just don't fight it. Allow and be happy to allow. Nothing I see means anything. I have given everything I see all the meaning it has for me. I do not understand anything I see. And these thoughts do not mean anything. I am never upset for the reasons I think. I'm upset because I see something that is not there. I see only the past. My mind is preoccupied with past thoughts. I see nothing as it is now. My thoughts do not mean anything. My meaningless thoughts are showing me a meaningless world. I'm upset because I see a meaningless world. And a meaningless world engenders fear. But God did not create a meaningless world. My thoughts are images I have made. I have no neutral thoughts. I see no neutral things. I am not alone in experiencing the effects of my seeing, and I am not alone in experiencing the effects of my thoughts. I am determined to see. I am determined to see things differently. What I see is a form of vengeance. I can escape this world by giving up attack thoughts. I do not perceive my own best interests because I do not know what anything is for. My attack thoughts are merely attacking my own invulnerability. Above all else, I want to see. Above all else, I want to see things differently. God is in everything I see. God is in everything I see because God is in my mind. I am not a victim of the world I see. I have invented the world I see. There is another way of looking at the world. I could see peace instead of this. My mind is part of God's. I am very holy, and my holiness envelops everything I see. My holiness blesses the world. There is nothing my holiness cannot do. My holiness is my salvation. I am blessed as a son of God. God goes with me wherever I go. God is my strength. Vision is God's gift. God is my source. I cannot see apart from God. God is the mind in which I think. God is the love in which I forgive. And God is the strength in which I trust. There is nothing to fear. God's voice speaks to me all throughout the day. I am sustained by the love of my Creator. Holding grievances is an attack on God's plan for salvation. Holding grievances is an attack on God's plan for salvation. What is God's plan? While we have recognized that the ego's plan for salvation is the opposite of God's, we have not yet emphasized that it is an active attack on his plan and a deliberate attempt to destroy it. A deliberate attempt. Doesn't that make it sound like the ego has a personality and is a real thing? The ego is an idea. It is merely an idea. And its fundamental purpose is to replace God's plan with its own. This is why it is an attack. It is a resistance. It is a saying no. This lesson focuses largely on the body as the ego's attack. The body is the instrument of attack on salvation. What is salvation? It's important to remember that salvation is merely the undoing of the idea of separation. That is salvation in a nutshell. Let's remember Lesson 139. Salvation, the recognition of oneness, is the end of choice. The egoic mind, or the idea of the ego, would have you believe that you, as a separate entity, can make a choice that is different than God's. It's different than what is arising. It is different than the absolute, infinite, all that is. But here, when we recognize salvation, we come to a decision to accept ourselves as we are, as God, in God, with God. Lesson 139 asks you, what is choice except the uncertainty of what you are? What is choice except the uncertainty of what you are? Lesson 72 tells us we are not a body. Salvation, the recognition of oneness, rests on the complete denial of the body as the identity that we think we are. For most people, this is a new idea, but it isn't for us. Yet we are betrayed in every moment by the experience of being in a body. But we can go beyond the body. We can go beyond it to that which is aware. We can go to that which is aware of the body itself. This experience is all pervasive. It is happening now. But we miss it because the body is so loud. Elizabeth Cronkite says, Source is very quiet because there is no conflict in it. Source is very quiet because there is no conflict in it. Right now, in this moment, you are the experience of awareness. It is so close, we miss it, and yet it is evident in our common language. Rupert Spira tells us, if you are asked about yourself and your experience in a body, we could say, I am, and give our name. Or we could say, I am old, or I am young, or I am walking down the street, or I am an architect. I am talking to a friend. I am happy. I am sad. These words, I am, are enshrined in our language. What do they refer to? What is this I am? The one thing we deserve to do in this life is to discover with certainty what that is. What is this I am? This sense of being myself. What is this I am, this sense of being that lies behind every bodily experience? I am not always walking down the street. I have my name and nicknames, a middle name and a last name. I am not always an architect. I am not always happy. I am not always sad. But I always am. So finding out what this I am is the most important thing we can do. Indeed, that is the salvation that we are speaking of in this lesson. How do we explore the I am? We look at it deeply and fully. We rest in it, observing it. But this I am, this sense of self, is not known with the thinking mind. It is known through experience, isn't it? The undeniable certainty that I am. The common thread amongst every human being that has ever lived or ever will live. What is this I am? What does it feel like? What is its nature? Look at it. Does it change? No. Does it begin or end in some place? No. Do you remember when you first recognized it? Do you have a sense it will end? Do you remember it ever ending? The I am is like the space in the room you sit in. You cannot see it or feel it or touch it, and yet you rest in it, as it, knowing it, certain of it. The ego will tell you you are uncertain of what you are. Uncertainty about what you must be is self-deception on a scale so vast its magnitude can hardly be conceived. But who is the doubter? What is it that is doubted? Who asks? Think about the I am as it is experienced now. If we think about our life, we may have memories, we may have sensations, emotional memories, physical memories, all of which seem to define what we are. The experience of being in a body, the memory of the experience of being in a body obscures the moment of knowing. They obscure the quiet sense of self. They cover up the immediate experience now of I am. Any qualifier that comes after I am, the certainty and knowing, any qualifier is not true. This pure experience of being is a light unto itself. It needs nothing but itself to know itself. God's plan for salvation is for us to know ourselves, the I am. Salvation is the end of the idea of separation. Each and every one of us experiences the certainty of I am. That is the end of separation. What is oneness? It is nothing more than the true self, abiding in and as and with the absolute now. It is within the awareness of the I am, of the amness we are, the isness we are, that all arises. We merely rest in this unqualified, ultimate, intimate, absolute knowing that we are. Is this too boring for you? There's nothing outside of it, and everything within it. Knowing yourself, the unlimited awareness of I am allows all experience to be held within the safety, the eternal self-luminous knowing of being. This is the salvation, the wholeness, the one true amness, the isness, and it shines in us as us at all times, in all circumstances. There is nothing else but this. Holding grievances is an attack on God's plan for salvation. The truth is, even the resistance to what is lies in the infinite absolute. But what more could you do with your life than know yourself, the I am? What could be more valuable than to know what you truly are and what every other seemingly separate person is? That is God's plan for salvation. And it includes everything in all circumstances at all times. How does this lesson find you today? When you're ready, come back gently into your seat and let's talk about it. I remember when I first read this lesson, I was just kind of, well, what is the plan? I need to know what the plan is. Can you just spell it out for me? And I can remember wondering, what does oneness feel like? What is it to know that everything is one? And then I discovered the I am. And I explored it, and I knew that the I am in me is the same I am for everyone. And then I knew what oneness was, at least one aspect of it. Oneness expresses in infinite ways, but I knew for myself, this is what I share with every other being, is this self-illuminating sense I am. And that was my salvation. So that's what I've got this morning. And I thank Rupert Spira for his beautiful words, because some of what I spoke comes from Rupert Spira, and also Elizabeth Cronkite. Alka, good morning. Good
Good morning.
afternoon.
Good evening, really.
Yeah, good evening.
I just want, when you mentioned Rupert Spira, I just wanted to mention, I was listening to something he was reading from a book about a necklace and how the beads on the thread are manifestations, and whether the bead is there or not, the necklace is always there. And as you were speaking, I mean, before you mentioned Rupert Spira, but when I was listening to it, sort of made me realize at a different level, yes, everybody else, their bodies, their personality, it's the beads on their neck, on the thread. And if you disregard that, it's all of us are the same. And it really went in. So thank you very much, Amy.
Thank you.
I really understood it at a different level today. Thank
Oh,
you.
thank you for that. Thank you for the share. Yeah. It's really profound. It's really, really profound. Such a gift. Richard and then Lonnie. Richard, good morning. In your
Morning, love us all, and great meditation. I appreciate all the research and all the different references. I My experience has been I really had a difficult time dropping the Richard from I am Richard. and just getting to the I am. Initially, it was like, well, Richard represents separation. Separation is the ego. I need to get rid of it. And then I realized after a few years that, no, I need to embrace it. I need to love it because I am everything. So I chose to come here and be Richard for whatever reason. I have no idea why I chose it, but here I am. I'm living as a Richard separate self, and I don't want to get rid of it. I want to use it as a tool. The Course says it's a communication tool. So let's communicate. So it's been really a great journey since I had this understanding or this knowledge, and I really love the idea that you mentioned isness, because to me that's the infinite. That's it. Beyond the I am, there's just isness. There is no longer an I am. There's just isness, and I love that idea. So thank you so much for that. Love us all.
Thank you, Richard. Yeah, being your authentic self. Richard is part of the authentic self. It's the experience. Yeah. Yeah, I get that. So this is where I don't know why, but this phrase keeps coming to me. We have to walk and chew gum at the same time. I've said that, a dozen times in these meetings, and that's being Richard and knowing you're the isness at the same time. And that's where you get the fullness of the experience and the fearlessness of it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, and the joy of it.
Right.
Right. Thank you for that. Thank you. Lonnie.
I guess the echo in my system of your words is so profound. And as I hear that, it's so profoundly simple that we miss it. Because those two words are the absolute only two words that every human being on the planet speaks at some time. I am. Whatever they attach to the end of it on their table of experience or choice becomes what their reality is. But I am is the one thing that every being speaks. Every human being speaks at some point in their life before they add something onto the end of the I am. And it's just that for me, that's what's profound, is that that connection is there and we don't even see it because we're so busy paying attention to what we attach to the end of it, as though that's more important than the one thread that ties us together. I am.
Yep.
I struggled, well, because of this configuration, I struggle a lot with the I'm not a body, because it doesn't make sense to me, because there's an awareness there. We are so much more than a body. We are so much more than this container that we use to experience life in. And for me, that's where the curiosity is. Oh, what can happen with this? What can I do in here? What can we do in here? So I guess in some of the teachings with some of the stuff that I run into in this group and in other groups, I feel like it takes me to the edge of a cliff and tells me, sit here. But I want to know what happens if I jump. Do I fall or do I fly? And I only fall if I don't believe I can fly. If I don't know I can fly, not even believe, because I don't need someone to tell me I can fly. I got to know I can do it. Oh, that's all that's flowing through this body right now. I love you all and all of you.
Thank you. Yeah, jump off the edge. I mean, that's what I do when I do the out breath, and I take my awareness all the way to the edge of the out breath, and then I hold it and I just drop off. And that is pure being. There is nothing there. And yet everything is there. And I can take anything that this body or this mind is holding or aware of or anything, and I can let it all go out there on the out breath and drop it off. And I can never fill that space. It never gets filled. It's always willing to accept whatever it is I give it. And it's
And
always the same.
and it is in the dropping off of that stuff that weighs you down in limitation that allows you to fly.
Yeah. Or float, or just rest, or be. Yeah.
Or lift your feet up in the flow.
Thank you. Yeah. Patricia and then Cindy. Good morning, Patricia.
Good morning, all. Good to be here and wonderful to see you all. As you were talking about this, I was kind of condensing it all and saying, I'm all of it. It's that simple. I really am all of it. I am mind. I am body. I am not mind. I am not body. It's all because God is in my mind. And if God is in my mind, that's what matters, so that I'm experiencing life through this body. Well, why not make it as alive and vibrant as possible? And when I'm in, as long as, it's being present in the moment, and it's like being constantly willing to let go, let go. My favorite phrase, as I have said many times, is I don't know. I don't know is letting go for me. And I so appreciate that, because then I can almost dance into the I don't know by just being present. There's room. There's room for all of it, for all of the experience. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, sometimes I think about that lesson, God is in my mind. I think that's backwards. I think I am in God's mind. Right. Right. So I think it's important. God isn't in me. I am in God. Right. As God, with God, of God. Yeah. Right there. Cindy, good morning.
Good morning. I really thank you. I'm in a peaceful, unknowing place, and I only raised my hand when Lonnie was sharing because I wanted to read the last line of my contemplation this morning, which just goes, this fool is ready to jump off the cliff into the unknown. If only I knew where the cliff was. That's it. Well, I guess it's not it. There's a recognition here that there are still unknown assumptions playing out. That's the way I want to put it. There are assumptions in how Cindy's still living her life that I am currently, a lot of this writing was about turning the light on blind spots. Like, what is it that I am not aware of that is still affecting Cindy's experience? And I'm very moved by the intensive this week from the guides and this understanding of this image of rolling out the tapestry that contains our entire history. Every time we smiled at everyone, every time we frowned at everyone, every time we said an angry word or a loving word, or every experience is in this tapestry. And they said, now in this new room, you're stepping off into something other. This image just has been working on me, and there's a recognition, like I could feel aspects of the history still like tacked into how I'm moving forward or how I'm sitting still. And so I'm just like um hanging in the yes and not and being okay with not knowing what I'm saying yes to because I'm choosing to trust that for the longest time my spiritual aspiration was trust the Tao more than the Cindy story, and I just love the way that is. And this week the words are coming from the infinite way, and it just says, "Be at peace, God is." Be at peace, God is. So we've been talking about the isness, and I've been just sitting at that. This where do I keep trying to defend myself? And I guess there is one more thing because I'm also hanging out in this Kabbalah study, and we were talking about grievances in this lesson a couple of days ago in this 30-day thing to unpack soul contracts. He was looking at judgments, and he just said every judgment is the same as saying God doesn't know what he's doing. And I just love that version. Like every time you say this shouldn't have happened, every grievance, all of that is the same as saying, well, the divine doesn't know what he's doing. It's doing whatever, the creator is unaware of its own plan, can fuck it up, and just I've been sitting in all of that and allowing a whole bunch of stuff to just swirl around. Um, I wasn't going to speak at all, but then I was laughing because Lonnie's looking at wanting to jump off a cliff, and I'm like looking at these words that are sitting right here, and it says, "The fool is ready to jump off the cliff into the unknown. I just don't know where the cliff is." And I actually, how do I say this? I accept that as true. Like as long as there are still assumptions playing out in this story that I am still they're on being undone. Like I'm not saying it like I have to do something other than hang because I just keep saying yes. But it's interesting how uncomfortable and swirly it feels to accept that I don't know what's going on. I,
You know,
the separate self.
it's interesting to me that you say you don't know where the cliff is because the cliff is right there in the yes. It's right there.
Yeah. So
You don't know what you're saying yes to. You're just saying yes. That's the cliff right there.
yeah, it's again this Zen cone, this willingness to not know is I believe like again, I'm being very careful because it feels like my experience is continuously changing and there's something slower than Cindy's experience. A key part of what's happening here now is really, 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 really getting super comfortable with not knowing.
Mm.
There's a recognition here that every time I use words to say I know something, I've shut off something. Does that make sense? Because the truth has no words.
Yeah.
And yet I'm feeling there's something inside here that gets really, really, really uncomfortable, like swirly, not in a bad way, but there's something that like starts to swirl around. Sometimes it feels like nauseating to not allow the mind to give me the answer.
Mm.
Yeah. It's
So
like
that's
releasing expectation.
Yeah. So when I say I don't know, it's not, and I want to know. It's more like a recognition that as long as I'm putting every time we use words to say I know something, we put it in a box. Here, I'm not speaking for anybody else. And so how do I live without the box?
You see, I've already jumped. I'm just figuring out how to use these wings. I've jumped. That's what keeps bringing me here. And it's in that unknown place because every time I question this jump and fall into, well, what if I fall? What if I fall? Guess what? I start falling because I start believing that. But that unknown place, I guess I figure it's got to be somewhat or something at least different from what I know of the fall. I have no friggin' idea what this is going to look like going forward, what this flying really is, or this riding the wave really is. But I do know that the one and only thing I can trust is the divine, and that I can know that it will not put anything on my path that is not for me. I think you guys call that an Indagoism.
Yep.
And
Yep.
so that cliff, it could be the pinpoint or it could be a mountain. But it's the willingness to step into the unknown of either one in the takeoff. So I'm not I kept running into teachings that took me to the edge, but didn't support me in the jump. But now I found out that the only support I need in the jump is the divine and my real faith and trust there. I guess that's coming just because I want to hug you so much, Cindy. I just want to hug you so much.
Mm, that's wonderful. That's beautiful. Yeah, I think
I'm going to be coming north for that hug, young lady.
you better come up here too.
I suggest you might want to wait a couple months, though. It's currently 12 degrees or something.
Yeah, it's cold. Yeah. Richard, you're up next. What's your temperature?
I'm going to be at 51 today. So I'm in Missouri. So we have tomorrow will be 31. Today is 51. And then the next day is 19. So fluctuates quite a bit. I just wanted to mention before we close, last Friday at our meeting, Lonnie recommended a series of our 5 channelers. We're going to talk for an hour and a half about the convergence. And I watched it. Yeah, I highly recommend it. It really reflects the ideas of the Course in Miracles, I thought, and was everything else we're talking about that supported all of that. If you believe in channeler, I think you will enjoy it. Each of them shared what their channels are telling them about the future, the near-term future within the illusion, obviously, but was quite interesting. I recommend it.
Thank you. Yeah. I wonder if we could put that in the chat. Maybe yes, maybe not.
Maybe we could email it since some of us are driving.
I can email to some of you the YouTube clip where is a replay of the entire event.
The beauty of the event is that it was about raising the frequency, and in any gathering to how just the gathering raises the frequency, like the way that the frequency raises of love raises every time this gathering comes together.
Right.
Sandra, gonna close us out?
Okay. Well, first of all, when you asked about the experience, Amy, my first thought that came in is I could do this every morning with you. It just brings me to that place, the other, whatever we call it. And thank you for that. I just want to say my experience has not had any cliffs in it at all. There are no cliffs. It's more of, and there's no me doing it. I didn't do anything. I didn't jump. I didn't let go. It came to me. It came. I don't know how else to explain it. So, but it was more like a warm bath. There was no fear at all. And the glow, when you said the luminosity of being, the warm, glowing radiance that envelops me. So I just want to put that out there. There's nothing to fear. There's no cliff. I mean, it's a metaphor. I know it's a metaphor, but I just love you all, and it just, the radiance of being, the luminosity of it is warm, it's glowing, it's peaceful, it's loving, it's joyful. And this statement is a statement of fact. Holding grievances attacks that opportunity. So whenever I get a grievance that comes into my line, and believe me, they like to pop up daily. It's like a little signal bell. It's like ding. Let go of that.
Yeah.
That's all.
Resisting, walking upstream. You're walking upstream.
Why did they put the forks where the spoons go? I mean, it can be that little. It's so ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But it's a warning bell, because the fact is here. Holding grievances, it doesn't say you never have them. It says holding them
Yeah.
is an attack on God's plan.
That's a really good point. That's a really good point. I like that.
They're
Holding.
not gonna stop because I'm in the egoic, I'm in this form.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I know what they are now. And I want my warm bath.
I'm looking outside at a cardinal and the squirrels. Like, they're not upset because it's winter.
No.
They don't care. They just figure it out.
Thank you, Amy. I love you.
Love you too. Love you all. Thank you so much. Yep. Big heart. All right. I guess you're gathering again soon. I won't be there, but I'll be there in spirit.
Yeah, Cindy's leading. I wonder what she's gonna say. Let me start the recording.